can't, you don't have to just comment. You can come live. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to AVNs tomorrow. That's sick. But you know what's interesting is it's really not even a highlight of my day. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's even more exaggerated than the strip club, and it's very goofy because you'll have like these quote guys that are following a lot of these porn stars around that it's hard to even consider them a guy like that. And then there'll be a mixture. It's not like that's the only kind of guy that's there. There's all kinds of spectrum of things, but it's a circus show. It's amazing how grooved into a character or a way of being a person can be if it's reinforced by the people around them. And for years and years, you get more and more exaggerated. Like an example would be a dom and a submissive. Uh, you know, we'll see it to the extreme. For the most part, at something like the AVN, what you'll see is a submissive guy. You don't really see like guys walking around with a collar on a girl and the girl's walking around like a dog on all fours or something, but you might see that with a guy. It has to do with how feminist the culture is, and that it just wouldn't be tolerated in plain sight to have such a dominant man and a submissive woman. You'd think that she's suppressed or whatever. But if you saw a guy suppressed like that, it's his free choice, and it would be applauded for such bravery to be like that for the guy and the girl, even though it's the same situation. But in the beginning, I can almost guarantee that guy did not start off walking around on his hands and knees with a collar. He was just like, pinch my nipples.
He was
Or,
like abused as a kid.
well, that they all were. But it would be like when he first started exploring being like a submissive to a girl, it started more like he was like, choke me while we have sex or something like that. It started lighter. It was just glimpses of submissiveness, and then it got more and more exaggerated to the point where who knows kind of perverted shit that they do. And that's just one example that you really will spiral off into a kind of a uh like that's what I'll say about like that girl with like all the wonky astrology, or I've met this other girl who's kind of like um into demons in a certain way, demons and like a certain side of it. And it's interesting because there's definitely, I have reality on some of the things that they say. And it's like, you know, kudos for even getting that close to the target,
Right.
given that you're by yourself. But Jesus Christ, you are in an echo chamber of your own thoughts. Yeah, you're basically hearing your own chat GPT in your own mind and thinking it's the God honest truth. And uh, and then
It's a trip.
it's and then they carry a full cup where it's like they think they know about everything, and there's no telling them anything. So you can't teach a girl anything. You can submit her, and when she's submitted, she'll empty her cup, and then you can teach her something. But there's no that's a whole era I had to go past where it was like I am a teacher, and then I get the girl by being her teacher. Like that's not what it is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like something I've noticed about like industry girls or what they just don't want to work hard. And I mean this with love. Like honestly, like at the gym when I'm signing up girls who dance, who are waitresses
And
at
don't
the
name any
club,
places, obviously.
and they don't see the like ethic of hard work. And so they'd rather get the surgery. They'd rather, take the easy way out on a lot of different things. And I think probably that gets in the way of building a real relationship because they don't have the will to. And maybe that's a question. Like, what do you think about? Do you notice that? Maybe it's
Um,
so given to them the money, the ease of survival, but
well, it is still some girls. It's not all the girls.
not all
So
the
you
girls. Through my
so
experience so far with like a lot that I've signed
there's
up.
a lot of them, but I don't even know that it's half. So it's a subset of girls, and I don't know that it's that different than in guys. It's the same manifestation where a guy will pursue money in whatever way. It's not even big money. $100,000 a year job is not big money for what you would want to do with money. And but they'll still pursue that before they pursue their character, their communication skills, their lifestyle, their overall well-roundedness. They're going for retirement so that they can retire and then do what they want.
Yeah.
And so they're sellouts basically. And especially doing jobs that they don't want to do or whatever. So the girl that's shortcutting her looks or whatever, I don't have a problem with it. The phenomenon that will become a problem later is really uh she will get so much attention unearned. It's only earned in the sense that it was bought.
Well, that part is not. It's what I'm seeing is that the inability to work hard on oneself like translates over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying because let's say it was 100 years ago, first of all, there wouldn't really be strip clubs or whatever, but let's say, I don't know, when surgery wasn't even as prevalent, like 30 years ago or something,
Yeah.
or in some other part of the world, she would have to work to get her body better to make more money, and then she would see that direct correlation of like she would get more of the attention that she wants by putting in the work to get that attention versus this shortcut, bypass it. Maybe it's dad's money, maybe it's a loan, which is technically still her money, or whatever. And she's shortcutting the looks. Now, does she follow up with that with hard work to emphasize it and just build the habits from there? Or does she rely on that? People will have shortcuts in life. I don't think the girl that gets surgery to look good and doesn't work out afterwards is going to look good for very long. I think it's still going to fall out of place. And and we see that with girls where it's like out of proportion or it's loose in the wrong places, firm in the wrong places, and it's not right. You got to work the body out so that shit circulates and tissues are elastic and everything. And so the youthfulness, it becomes a silhouette and it may get a certain kind of guy, but a lot, it'll definitely get a trick because it's like it's all the fucking Barbie curves that, an exaggerated Barbie life. And then it'll get a certain kind of gangster wannabe, maybe a real gangster even, but they're very undeveloped and unrefined in a lot of those preferences. But it's again, it's generalizing. It's not like there's none of those kinds of girls. Just because she got surgery and didn't work out afterwards doesn't mean she's a bad character. It just means she has low discipline on physicality.
Yeah.
So there's many areas in life to be disciplined on. That's one of them, and I'm looking to be well-rounded in everything.
Yeah.
So she will get the attention that she's seeking, that she needs for her survival. Suppose that's how she's worked it out in her mind. And when she gets what she needs, she doesn't have much motivation to work on other things. She doesn't see the bottom line. The bottom line for her is not a relationship. And so she doesn't see the shortcoming of lack of character, lack of follow through, lack of goal setting, lack of focusing on your beauty from an inside out perspective. Not that you shouldn't do the outside. That would be to say, don't wear makeup, don't do your nails, don't do your hair. That's the same thing. It's just not as invasive as surgery, not as expensive. A
Right.
permanent tattoo, it's a spectrum of things. It's all external modifications.
Right. Right. Right.
But if you want to keep a relationship, it's got to come from the inside also. Just like the guy needs to make money, but where is it coming from? Was he just so needy for that money that he worked really hard day and night and he got finally to that place? When you get in a relationship with that guy, he's going to be miserable because he hasn't worked on himself. He's just molded himself to fit that, uh, you know, he's that cog in the machine. He's that gear in the machine. So he fit himself into a very necessary place. He could be an investment banker, make a bunch of money. You could use him for that money, but you just be surprised how unable they are to communicate, especially when it comes to more difficult things to communicate, just understanding emotions, what you really mean. To know what a woman really means when she says XYZ and she really meant ABC. And then you ask her for clarity, and then she'll say JML, and really what she meant was 1, 2, 3. And it's like on and on and on. The number of times a woman says directly what she meant is
Like never.
very rare. You almost got to corner her into like, is it this or that? And she's like, it's this. Got it. And that was exactly like feather the line or something. So to know what a woman means when she says whatever is to be very emotionally literate because she's expressing an emotion. You have emotions too. You can't build a bridge on emotional communication. You have to build it on exact physical communication. Certain measurement, this material, this proportion, blah, blah, blah. It has to be exact. Versus building a family is not physics like that. Building a family is empathy. It's feeling what the baby needs when it can't speak what it needs. It's as a woman protecting yourself, given that you're weaker than the man. And so if you anger him, it could bring harm to you, which could harm your family. So you learn to say things in a way that doesn't bring the heat on yourself as anybody in fear would do. They'll bend the truth to accommodate like that's and that over generations and generations, the female neurology and psychology is indirect because direct is confrontational.
Yeah.
Direct is what a man does. If a man is in fear, he'll turn indirect. And then over time that becomes a habit. So the boy that was traumatized or whatever, he becomes an adult, he's still indirect. He's feminine.
That's crazy.
So that's just a layer of that manifestation. So for the working girl or whatever that modifies her body, gets all the attention she wants and needs, she doesn't have in her mind that she's working on her body to get a relationship and be fulfilled in life. She
Yeah.
probably hasn't even worked it out. She hasn't looked at it. She's serving immediate needs and then just getting exaggerated with that. It would be like so I made a good chunk of money today and I get drawn into that. And it's like, now I don't go out tonight. Let me work on more business. let me get a lot more of those. Let me get two, three, or four or five of those a day. That'd be sweet, right? And it's like, is okay, at what point do I start going out and working on myself? Like we have a system. I need the other foot.
Yeah.
We have a system of becoming aware of unconscious parts of our communication, like we went over today in so many dramatic times. Like I've had to go through that myself many times, and I will continue to many more times.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna, I'm already good, but if you're gonna take a plane from subsonic to supersonic speed, you better not have any dings or deformities in the frame.
Right.
It's got to be perfectly aerodynamic. And then if you want to take it to hypersonic, like Mach 7, or if you want to take it to outer space, like some planes can almost get that high, not really outer space, they can get to like the outer atmosphere. Different. Some people think, I think people think that the atmosphere just like it starts, like you're from space, and then all of a sudden the atmosphere starts. It's not really like that. It blends into space, very, 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 very thin at the top, just hydrogen and helium and shit. And as you descend, it gets thicker, and then it starts going through strata that are kind of definitive, like the jet stream kind of defines different strata. Anyway, so there's that. That's good.
Yeah, that's, I mean, a lot of times I say, like, oh, my man always teaches me this, or my man's always taught me that. But one of the things I realized recently was kind of like that when you're in a leadership position, he always taught me. And then you can't make errors because the errors look so much bigger than when you're just like a bum and you make an error. And, for whatever
That's
reason, everything
responsibility.
that you're saying there now reminded me of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. What did it remind you of that?
Because how you're talking about how you integrate the whole lifestyle instead of just becoming hyper focused on like work, work, work,
Yeah.
kind of living your whole life. And that would be like a little error where then in your work as a leader, maybe if you aren't fulfilled and you didn't work on yourself, those errors would get in the way of your work then.
It will. It'll put a ceiling on some things. At the very at the end of the logic, if you don't work on yourself, the relationship you get as a man is going to be your biggest liability. So if you've built all your success and then you get with a woman,
Yeah.
never mind that she got with you for your money or whatever, she's going to perturb your system. You're not going to know how to handle it. I mean, that's the story of every guy everywhere. That's just like the relationship fucked you up. Is there any guy that's in a deep, meaningful relationship that's not perturbing their life? I am, but I've been working on myself a lot in this field. You can work on yourself in some other subjects, convincing yourself that it's related to game and social dynamics. That's the thing. People hide behind the phrase game, like, oh, I don't need to pick up that many women. That's not game, bro. That's just pickup. Like, we don't even agree on the terms or whatever. Game is just how you relate to life, ultimately leading to the same thing that we're all going for, which is the relationship or access to sex. Let's be real. You want access to sex, but we're not just, it's beyond chimpanzee. We're not bunny rabbits. So it's not even beyond that. We're not insects that just fuck everything. Like, sex is for tribe building, family building, tribe building. So to do that, you're gonna have a relationship. You can't just fuck the girl and leave her and she raises the kid. It's not gonna work like that. The tribe will fall apart.
All the single moms cheering you on right now.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. But at the end of the day, that okay, so let's do a little devil's advocate there. If you get in the way of him and his purpose, he should leave you. That's why you're single as a mom. You got in his way. You tried to control him. Now you chose to get with a guy who, you know, maybe couldn't properly take care of you and the kid. It was fine when you were working and he was working, but when you had a kid and now you have to work and raise the kid and he's just working, well, you should have worked that out before you got pregnant. Didn't you take 50% part in that at least? So, yeah, if you get in the way of your man, now that's people just don't even have references for how to work with this. Like a woman, it's such a big deal that you need to measure a man's relationship with his friends before you get with him. You need to know that he has friends or associates. You don't need to interact with his friends, but you need to know he has a team and then that the team is quality and the team is going somewhere, he's going somewhere. If he doesn't, then what are you doing? And that's every woman is really brainwashed about that. She wants the guy to choose her over his friends. But that's doomed. That's doomed for being a single mom. You're going to be a single mom one day because he's going to be so resentful of you when you can't fulfill the needs that he had, what he needs a team for. a tribe and friends or whatever. You're going to eventually crush his balls because he doesn't know how to handle you. And then he's going to run away back to his friends or whatever, or cheat on you and never go back to his friends and still resent you. And then you'll break up with him, or he'll become totally submissive to you, which, and he still may do those other things, but you'll resent him so much because he will have lost all polarity in the relationship, all masculine edge. So,
Is that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, so you need a guy that has a team and has ambition and he's achieving things and his team is reputable and then stay out of his way. And it's really, I don't know the deep depths of how other guys outside of my team would operate. I believe what I'm about to say is the truth and it's the case across the board. But I think so many people have so many confused ideas that distort them. Like I was telling you earlier, being natural is not the same thing as just doing what's familiar to you. So people think that doing what's familiar to you, like just be natural, be yourself when you're with the girl. Bro, yourself has gotten your dating results up until now. Why would it be any different if you just start being yourself now?
Yourself sucks.
It's basically what it is. So that's where like you need to know that you are not your patterns, but
Yeah.
what feels natural to you is just familiar to you. That's different than being natural.
Yes.
So why I'm saying that, just closing it, the last thing I was saying right before that,
Because you need the evolution.
yeah, but the thing I was saying right before that, uh, single mom guy, oh, so I don't know exactly how guys would do it outside of IMC Nation, but for me, if a girl, if she's good enough for me to get with her, so whatever that level is for you, I don't mean marry her. I just mean like you spend time together and you get to know each other. And in addition to that, she completely stays out of your way. Why would you ever not be with her? What would happen there that would make you stop being with her? She was already good enough to make it through all your thresholds to like get into your life and you get into her life. Like you're good enough for each other up until that point. Now, why would it separate if she doesn't harangue you, uh, but what's the word? Bicker. If she doesn't nag for more attention or don't go on that business trip or, I'm not talking about a girl being insecure that you're like going to go cheat on her on a business trip. She just doesn't want you to go on a business trip because she's needy. Like if she can stay out of your way but contain her romance for you so it doesn't diminish her, she doesn't just avoid you, gives you space, but then she's like not loving anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? If then you had a second girl and she still didn't get in the way and didn't diminish, you would three girls, four, why would you ever stop being with her? So that's again, if that was the truth of men, then a woman, and she knew that, I think she would stop getting in his way. If it made it through her thresholds, he's ambitious enough, he's smart enough, he's handsome enough, like he's got the friends enough, like he made the quality standards to get into her life, just stay out of his life and trust that he's going to do, what you got with him for. And if he changes, then would you really want a relationship where you have to force him not to change anyway? Where you have to keep him in line so that you stay taken care of? What a shitty life. That's not what life is for. You should have chosen better. Dad should have shown you. Older brother should have shown you. So that's, you know, God punishing by the code of life. And then the woman gets her retribution by, you know, basically she gets fucked because she doesn't have the right templates and the right models for how to choose right guys.
Yeah.
But that's why the law favors her. So if she gets pregnant and has a kid, he's probably fucked if she doesn't like him.
Yeah, because there was a lady doing personal training today with the owner and complaining about something or this and that about a guy and how she said that she ended up getting married to the guy because of money.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, we were already talking about it. And then he came into some big money, and I thought this is the right move. But then she's like, then he got abusive, had a lot of trauma,
Yeah.
wouldn't talk to me, and made her go all crazy, which she already was like loopy. Now she's 45 with two kids, a little overweight, and doesn't understand how to now go back and find real love.
Yeah.
And I see that with like a lot of women. I mean, there's a lot of married women at the gym. It's primarily married women or women with a man. But then there's like the handful of like single moms. Those usually can't afford our gym. women who don't have a partner cannot afford that level of self-care because they're taking care of kids and working so much. They really have to make it a priority. So yeah. Anyway, like
Cool. Yeah. Harry Wildo, come to class, bro. I'm gonna send you DM right now. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta get ready right now. So it's been a pleasure. Hopefully you got something from it. If you're on the YouTubes, check out the link in the description of the video. Join the newsletter, join the open class. I got the Telegram group and everything. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Going out tonight, gonna kill it. Tomorrow, AVN's going out tomorrow night. So it's a whole blitz. Just watch, just go back 10 years and watch my videos over years and years and years. I change. Are you? Be the best. Fuck the rest. Os.